up on the Q30 Newscast. Get a behind-the-scenes look at the film crew that's been documenting life at Quinnipiac this week.
And it's National Voter Education Week. Learn about the issues that are most important to college students.
Plus, the university hosted a major and minors fair for students interested in exploring a new discipline.
All that and more tonight on the Q30 Newscast.
Welcome back to the Q30 Newscast. I'm Krista Barong.
And I'm Mason Glod. Krista, I'm so happy to join you on the Newscast desk tonight, so let's dive right into our top stories.
Hollywood has made its way to Quinnipiac. The TV show The College Tour has begun filming for their 8th season, and Quinnipiac is lined up to be featured on an episode. Samantha Pirelli has more on the story.
Quinnipiac's campuses have turned into a live television studio. The series The College Tour allows 10 students the opportunity to give their own perspectives on the university. The College Tour is a television series that gives their audience a chance to see the universities around the world. Executive producer of the show, Alex Boylan, mentions that a lot of people don't have enough money to tour around the country to visit several universities.
As then I started helping navigate online, the college search, and just realized it's overwhelming. You know, there's thousands of amazing universities. We're very blessed to be in this country with so many incredible institutions. And that's where, from me, so it's a personal experience, me going through this with my niece, that was just like, there has to be a television show. And the College Tour is born.
Third-year Hannah Jack is one of the students featured in the episode, and Jack hopes that when people watch the series, they can see why Quinnipiac is the university to apply to.
And also I hope that they can gain a sense of community and belonging through the people that are speaking, so like the 10 students that are, being on the television TV show. I hope that they can kind of see like, wow, like this is what Quinnipiac is, and I'm happy that I got to represent that.
In addition, second-year Hallie Benar hopes that she can impact students that are watching the episodes and assure them that they can be successful in a predominantly white institution, or PWI.
Not cause students to steer away from a PWI because they feel like they might not have an opportunity. So showing that they do have an opportunity here and that they're able to evolve their character, their intellect, evolve professionally, personally. So just showing that through my story, hopefully I could leave that impact.
For Q30 News, I'm Samantha Pirelli.
Yesterday, on October 4th, the Quinnipiac Advising Council held a Majors and Minors Fair for students. The event was held between 11 a.m. and 1 p.m. in the Piazza. Representatives from each school came to teach students about the different majors and minors offered in each school. This was beneficial for students who are undeclared, but it was also helpful for those who were thinking of adding a double major or minor. Q30 spoke to faculty members about what this fair brings to students.
It hasn't been hosted in person for so long because of the pandemic, but we felt we needed to bring it back. There's a lot of students who they may know what they want to major in, but they came in as exploring or undecided, and so we wanted to give them an opportunity of like an internal open house.
As Election Day nears, Quinnipiac students plan to head to the polls for a variety of reasons. Tim Malone has more.
National Voter Education Week takes place in the first week of October and is meant to inspire more Americans to hit the polls.
I think it's important for people to vote in general just because you want to put your own input into something, and a lot of people have a lot of issues with certain things, but if they're not registered to vote, then they can't be part of changing the problem.
The 5-day initiative aims to educate voters on a different aspect of voting every day of the week, including providing information on voting locations and understanding the ballot. Other organizations that promote accessible voting are also endorsing National Voter Education Week as midterm elections approach.
I think that a lot of people will only really vote in sort of presidential elections. I think that while obviously the presidential elections are very important, that local elections are still very impactful, and the offices that they hold are ones that have a lot of impact on specific individuals in the communities that you're from.
Voting rates of college students have been increasing in recent years, with turnout for midterm elections doubling between the years 2014 and 2018.
I think it's important to vote because that's the only way we have to decide the kind of country we live in. whether it's taxes or abortion or climate change, whatever it may be.
According to the Washington Post, increased student numbers at the polls leads to higher visibility for issues that are important to them when it comes to public policy.
Student loan discussion, just general political discourse happening lately. Just important. Why not? Why not vote?
For Q30 News, I'm Tim Malone.
It's now time for our first commercial break, but when we come back, we will be joined by Connor Cord to give us the weather forecast.
We still have national news and our sports report coming up, so stay with us.
Multiple studies have shown that marijuana can slow both driver reaction and response time, which can be really dangerous. He's here. He's here. Wait. What? I can't drive. Why? I'm high. Oh.
When we adopt a shelter pet, we discover they're a unique mix of all kinds of things.
Come on, Drew, spot on this last one. There it is.
Keep going with it. Leo! They're a little bit of a lot of things, but they're all pure love.
Thanks for sticking with us. We are now joined by Connor Cord, who will give us the latest weather updates.
Anyone who knows me knows I hate the rain, so what do you have for us, Connor?
Thanks, Krista and Mason. Now, your 7-day forecast throughout the rest of the week. Wednesday, throughout the day today, it was partly cloudy with that chance of rain. It was raining a lot early in today, but throughout the rest of the night, it's going to be around 53 degrees. Heading into Thursday, it's going to see those sun back out again with a high of 73, starting to see that temperature increase as we haven't seen that over the last few days. Heading into Friday, it's going to be high of 73 once again, but a lot more cloudy than it was the day before. Heading into Saturday and Sunday, it's going to be mostly sunny throughout the entire day with the highs of 56 and 62, with temperatures getting close to that 32 degrees and freezing temperatures. Not something you always want to see early in October. Heading into Monday, it's going to be mostly cloudy again with the high of 64, and rounding out the week on Tuesday, it's going to be mostly cloudy with a high of 64. We'll send you guys back at the desk.
Thanks, Connor. Quinnipiac students have seen an increase in data breaches this year following a national trend. These attacks consist of cybercriminals attempting to get crucial information from students, such as driver's licenses, credit cards, and social security numbers. Quinnipiac Information Security suggests proceeding with extreme caution when downloading software or clicking links from external parties.
Distraction, so how distracted you are. So you folks are working really hard for your studies, you're doing this, you're doing multiple things. You only have so much attention to give. And the point is, the more distracted you become, the less your guard's going to be up, the less you're going to think, you're not going to be paying attention.
It's now time to catch up on some national news.
Good thing we have Katie Cohen here to tell us all we need to know. What do you have for us, Katie?
Thank you, Krista and Mason. From Florida to Washington, D.C., there has been a lot going around the country this week. To start, more than 100 people in Florida are dead due to Hurricane Ian, and that number may still rise. Search and rescue teams are working through all the destruction still a week after the storm hit the state. Emergency teams with cadaver dogs have checked thousands of homes and rescued more than 2,300 residents. Officials say they are making progress in restoring power, but it will not be done likely for weeks. President Biden visited the state today to meet with officials, families, and first responders. And 100 days after the United States Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade, the Biden administration unveiled new steps to protect reproductive health care access, especially on college campuses. The president and vice president met with health professionals to announce that the Department of Education will be issuing a reminder to all universities that they cannot discriminate against students when it comes to pregnancy. And the Department of Health will be giving $6 million in grants to expand access to family planning clinics. Since Roe v. Wade was overturned, 14 states have banned abortions at any stage of a pregnancy, and this is something the White House says puts the lives of millions of women at risk. And finally, on Tuesday, federal aviation officials mandated more time off between flights for flight attendants. This new rule increases the time off from 10 hours when it was previously 9. Flight crew unions have been pushing for this additional rest time, saying they are extremely overworked, sometimes working 14 hours at a time. And the strikes have been happening across the country this past week. The new rule will take effect in 30 days. That's all I have for national news today. In the studio, I'm Katie Cohen. Back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Katie. When we come back from our break, Ben Kane has our weekly sports report.
Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this short commercial break.
What do you think you're doing, Kevin?
Was just gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
Like hearing voices?
Like your text-to-emoji ratio?
Oh man, the selfies. Selfie, nailed it.
We all have warning signs that let us know that we're probably not okay to drive. Mine is pretending to be your subconscious.
Craig, come on man, let's split a ride home.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
Thanks for sticking with us. Ben Kane is here in studio to give us an update on our favorite Bobcat sports teams. What do you have for us, Ben?
Thanks, Mason and Krista. With the rain absolutely chucking down this afternoon, the men's soccer team continued their homestand as they welcomed in the Marist Red Foxes. Coming off a 3-2 win against Fairfield their last time out, the Bobcats were looking to win another conference game, and they did just that, winning 3-2, and here's exactly what Eric Tecasa had to say following the final whistle.
You saw a lot of emotion, you saw a lot of grit, and you saw two teams that wanted to get maximum points. And when you get to this point in the season and you're playing conference games and in our league, which is really competitive from top to bottom, every point matters, and I think you saw that from two teams that really wanted to maximize that today.
Now switching to the ice as Cass Turner's side welcomed in the Boston College Eagles for an exhibition match this past Friday. The story of the game was first-year Madison Chandler, who put on a show. Check out her first goal here as she tucks away the rebound for her first collegiate goal. Now we're going to take it to Chandler again, but this time she gets the puck and has some work to do to control it and puts it home for her second of the game. But if one or two was enough, how about a third? As she gets the rebound off another shot to record her first collegiate hat trick, and what a feeling doing it in her first ever game at the M&T Bank Arena. And now over to the men's side. We're looking for vengeance in the league play after last year's crushing defeat to Harvard in the ECAC Finals. With just 5 games remaining, here's a look at the Bobcats' final matchups before they enter conference play. Looking to continue their hot start, Rand Pecknell's men traveled to Boston College on Friday to play the Eagles, followed by LIU just 2 days later. A quick turnaround time as they then travel to North Dakota for a 2-game series versus the University of North Dakota, who they split a series with last year. Finally, the Bobcats travel to Maine on October 22nd as they have a 2-game series against the University of Maine before heading back into league play on November 4th versus Colgate at home. Now that's all I have for sports. Let's send it back to the desk.
Thanks, Ben. And that's all the time we have this week. But be sure to keep up with all our content on Q30TV.com or download the Q30 TV app.
And follow us on Twitter at Q30 News for all the Quinnipiac updates. I'm Mason Glod.
And I'm Krista Barong. To the producers and everyone behind the scenes, thank you and good night.